Aurelio, it's obviously been a major point, especially for your side. At the very end, vociferous appeals for a penalty denied. What did you make of the decision?
Well, I think everyone thought it was a penalty, except the referee. And unfortunately for us, he's in charge. I think there's been probably less given in the past. So, but it is what it is. To be honest, we weren't good enough anyway. So that would have been just, a bit of a lucky thing for us. But we just weren't positive enough, especially through the midfield and getting forward. So, you can have a lot of the ball, but if you're not going to be positive with it, then it's going to be difficult. And they got back in numbers. They regrouped pretty quickly, made it difficult for us. So good luck to them.
I guess, and why weren't you good enough? Why weren't you positive enough? What went wrong?
Yeah, well, once again, that could be a mindset as well. I thought we had plenty of the ball, but instead of going backwards, we should be going forwards. So we got to be a little bit more aggressive, and tonight we weren't doing that in moving the ball quickly and moving the ball forward.
So did you try to shift anything up at half time? Did you make it yellow? Because it did continue throughout the entire game.
Yeah, look, we tried to change it in the second half, and look, when we've got good structure, we're very, very good. But once we start to become a little bit spread, and then we find some difficulties, that's for sure. We made a couple of changes and brought on young Max for Macca and Andy as well, just to try to change some things. Maxion was a little bit unlucky. He got on to the end of on a very good cross that he headed over, and just wasn't our night. I think they're disappointed, obviously, but we know we've got to be better.
You mentioned the change for Jamie there. That's the first time you've taken Jamie off with anywhere near that amount of time left in an A-League men's game previously. Why did you take him off at that?
Well, look, he wasn't getting a hell of a lot of ball. That's a start, and that's not any fault of his own. And then, obviously, Marcelo's a big boy. So we thought we'd have a better match-up with Maxi in there. Maxi's physical, and, he can play with his back to the goal. So we have to try something, and we changed the back. We went to a back three as well. We put Andy up front with Max, again, just to see if we can change the game. Unfortunately for us, that we weren't good enough to do that tonight.
What was the thinking there? I mean, was there any thought to trying the two-prong attack there with Max and Jamie at the same time?
Yeah, we weren't penetrating enough anyway, so we thought by having Andy and Max through the middle, we can get a few earlier crosses. Like I said, Max had an opportunity that he headed over the bar. But again, the service into our front three tonight was pretty poor.
Another change you made up front was Andrew
Yep.
coming back. Can you talk us through what he's been through and how you thought he went tonight?
Yep, he's worked really hard and come back a lot earlier than what everyone expected. Training very well. The last couple of weeks he's been training with a group, and he's fit but not match fit. So this will do him a world of good. He brings a lot to us, not just on the pitch but also off the pitch.
Did you get what you wanted from him tonight, thinking that he isn't match fit?
Well, I don't think anyone was expecting anything miraculous from him. So obviously he's rusty, so we're just going to give him time.
Just getting back to Jamie for a second, you say you weren't being able to get the ball to him. Were you satisfied with the runs that he was making, with the options that he was showing, and it was just a matter of the boys weren't getting the ball to him, or was he not doing that either?
No, but Jamie's always making runs. He's always looking to get in behind, and we weren't positive. In the past, he's made the runs, and sometimes we can be hit and miss with him. We're looking foremost for that lateral pass rather than the vertical pass, and that's something that we've been working on, and we need to continue to get better at it.
One of the other notable things, especially in the first half, was just the physical treatment that Tolgay came in from the Wanderers. A lot of physical challenges on him. He didn't seem happy with it. Do you reckon that had something to do with you couldn't get the midfield going because he was getting kicked out of the game a bit?
Potentially. Look, he's a class player. Everyone knows that, and he's going to be marked tightly. That's when you have that quality. Of course, normally the opposition don't want a player of his calibre to get on the ball, but he has to get used to it. That's how it is. So, and I think he's played against some pretty tough midfielders and defenders in the past. So he'll get used to it. It's all part of the part of the process for him. You know, it's a new league. He's getting a good feel now of what it's really like, and no problems. We have a hell of a lot of faith in him.
And I guess, is it a concern at all, I guess, when you come into a game like this against another top side and you're being completely shut out when it comes to creating? Is it a concern moving forward?
No, they had a plan and it worked well for them, and we weren't good enough to execute tonight. Like I said, we got into those areas pretty well, and then we were pretty safe rather than being a little bit more proactive and trying to drive and get the ball forward.
And what did you take out of a game like this? What's, I guess, the focus moving on to the next one?
Well, obviously that.
Is it particularly frustrating because you scored 10 goals in the last 2 games? It seemed like maybe, you mentioned McLaren's run's not being rewarded. I think that's not the first time you mentioned that as well. So it seemed like maybe starting to turn a corner from an offensive point of view, and then is it just a case of coming up against a really good defensive team in the Wanderers?
Yeah, they were very solid defensively, and that's what I'm saying. When we break their press, and they press reasonably well, and once we broke that press again, that's when we really need to drive and get the ball forward, and we did it on occasions. But really, for us, a team that wants to create chances, we probably didn't do that or didn't execute that very well tonight.
And just with providing the service to Jamie, is that something where you've obviously had a lot of new players coming in the off-season, just more reps, more games, and then over time that'll get better?
Yeah, look, that's no excuse, but we've got 30 new players, and you know, we've been together 5 months, so we just need to keep improving, especially in that area. So it's no drama. Just tonight wasn't our night, and we know we've got to get better.
We've asked you a lot about your side going forward in this game, but what did you make of your side's defensive work? Obviously, they only conceded 1, but Wanderers is a team that love to play in transition, try to get in behind. How do you think your boys handled that?
Yeah, in parts well, but I also thought there were moments when we really didn't read the situation. A couple of long balls that, you know, from the edge of their box or just in front of the edge of the box that are travelling 40, 50 metres. We just got to anticipate that a little bit better.
Because Curtis and Sammy do a lot of things well, but they're not the quickest centre-backs in the world. Is that a case where your wing-backs really need to be turned on at all times? They know they need to cover those two?
Yeah, but it's everyone. You know, they played quite a long balls, and we didn't pick up any second balls. That's also, you know, once the distance becomes a little bit spread, becomes a little bit more difficult for us. But I thought Curtis and Sammy were exceptional tonight. So they had a tough night, but I thought they were probably 2 of the better players.